right here, Wilander as a clay court player. But let's watch what he does against Connors.
Jimmy missing with the two-handed return over the baseline. It's 15 love.
$110,000 is the first place money here in the Suntory Cup.
Just long with the first serve. Wilander now to serve a second serve. Beautiful shot from Connors. Clean winner.
Connors awfully eager this week. Had a long match against Edberg yesterday. 6-3 in the third, about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I wonder if he's a little stiff today.
Just wide. That's over the baseline, and so Wilander up 30-15. Donald, you mentioned Wilander serving very well yesterday against Lendl. What's he doing on that serve?
Well, it was interesting. Against Lendl, he came in on everything, Barry. First and second serves. He has not done that in the first 3 points here. He stayed back and rallied. I think if he serves his first ball, he's going to come in against Connors, but here he comes.
Good first serve from Mats Wilander.
He's an underrated server, Barry. He's a much better server than you'd think. That's why he's a good doubles player as well as singles.
Game point for Wilander, 40-15.
Ace.
Clean ace down the center, and so Mats Wilander opens up this final match at the Suntory Cup with a clean ace. He leads 1 love. As Mats Wilander goes over to receive serve. Donald, I know you do represent Jimmy Connors. What's your relationship with Jimmy and this event?
Well, Barry, Jimmy, of course, we've represented for 3 years, and we've also been the organizers of this tournament for the last 9 years. By that, I mean we try to get the players over here from America. It's run by the Japanese and the Suntory people.
First point, second game, Connors forced back, misses the two-hander. It's love 15.
I think the important thing to note, though, is Jimmy is currently, as you know, under a 70-day Grand Prix suspension, and we should explain that to the viewers that that does not include special events or non-Grand Prix events of any kind. This is not a Grand Prix tournament, obviously. Therefore, Connors is eligible to play. He cannot play in Grand Prix tennis, and he'll pick that up again at June 8th, I believe, at Queens.
I'm sure a lot of people tune in and say, hey, wait a second, I heard Jimmy Connors was suspended. What's he playing out here for? And that's a good explanation. 15 all.
One thing he's playing for is a lot of money. But he'd also like to win this title. This would be his first title in over a year in major tournament tennis. So he'd like to win it here against 2 very good players. Connors has a little habit there. He waits until you commit yourself. He kept that ball on his racket, waiting for Wilander to move one way or the other. There's a good save by Mats, good reach. And now as the ball floats, Jimmy's going to wait and see if he goes to his right or comes back.
Let, and it's a fault. Oh, Wilander missing.
Barry, you know, there's a lot of controversy about Jimmy Connors not finishing that match against Lendl. He was fined $25,000 total by the Men's Pro Council and suspended for 70 days, cannot compete in Grand Prix tennis. How do you feel about that kind of behavior?
I think he deserved the penalties, Donald, because basically he certainly has been around quite a while in terms of experience, and I think that obviously when you're a professional you owe it to not only the fans but everybody to finish the match, and I think Jimmy probably looking back on it regrets that he didn't finish that match.
Great forehand.
Clean winner down the line off the forehand of Jimmy Connors. And so holding serve there in the second game. It's 1-all. Have you talked to him, Donald, about that incident? I mean,
many times.
How does he
hours.
feel? Is he at all regretful that he did
Well,
not
I think
finish?
he feels that he made a mistake, and I think he feels the penalty is much more severe than warranted because it's a double dose. Both the penalty was $25,000 and then the suspension. But I'm sure that in his heart, if he had to do it all over again, he'd do it differently.
He would get up.
I
and
would
play.
think so. I don't know if he would say that, but I believe he would. Because clearly it's a setback for his career, and his trademark has been, his competitiveness and his ability to battle and, as he puts it, grind it out. And a great competitor does not leave the court over a bad call, no matter what the call is. And I think Jimmy feels that. Whether he'd admit it is something else.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's such a competitor that he would hate to admit that. As we watch Wilander with the forehand now, in front of the service line. Good volley there, cross court.
Great balance with his feet when he volleys.
15-all. Let and a fault.
Oh, right on the line. Ball dropped in perfectly, I think.
Yes, it did. Beautiful forehand up the line from Mats Wilander.
Now watch Jimmy. He tries to open the court up, and he thought that ball was going wide. He watches it, and it hit right on the line. He didn't cover it. Big mistake.
30-15, Wilander, 1-all.
And Wilander, one of the most underrated servers in the game, pounds the first serve. Let's watch it here. Look at that left knee action. He really leans into it, comes through the wrist snap, and notice the weight going into the court. That's what gives him the power, the weight distribution into the net.
Yes, good serve and volley again from Wilander, and so Mats holds serve. It is 2-1 in the first set. We'll pause now for these messages from your local cable system. We are back at Yoyogi National Stadium in Tokyo, Japan. I'm Barry McKay along with Donald Dell, bringing you the finals of the 1986 Suntory Cup. Mats Wilander taking on Jimmy Connors in a best-of-3 set final. Connors to serve. Miss hit off that two-hander of Wilander.
That's where the left-handed server has a slight edge. He can disguise that slice into the backhand side. Notice how Wilander's way out there. Let called. This court is so fast, I think it actually helps Connors' first serve quite a bit, Barry. It certainly takes off and gives him a little extra bite. Let again.
You see the let court judge there to the left of your screen in the chair, Ken Stubbs from St. Louis, Missouri. Another let court. Connors having some fun with the crowd. Wilander missing with the forehand.
Barry, people wonder what makes Wilander great, and I think really it's his quickness. He's got fabulous movement of foot, and his concentration is one of the best in the game. He's got a steel trap-like mind. I mean, it's just like Borg's, and he really concentrates well on the big matches.
Connors, 40 love.
Nothing ever seems to bother Mats Wilander. He just plays.
No, it's over the baseline, and so Jimmy Connors has won a love game. It's 2-all. Now, is Mats Wilander, Donald, going to serve a little differently on a faster surface than he would, let's say, on clay?
Well, I think he'll try more for flat serves. He'll try to come in on some of them, whereas in, say, the French Open on a slow clay court, he just spins the ball, and he doesn't really go for many winners, and he certainly doesn't come in behind it. You know, that's where he played so well yesterday. That first serve, he slaps at it hard and fast and then comes in behind it. And that really surprised Lendl yesterday.
15 love.
Now, out of respect for Connors, I don't think he'll come in on the second ball unless it's very deep.
Forehand again into the top of the net.
30 love.
Does Jimmy work on that forehand at all? Does he try and change it?
I don't think over the years he really has much, Barry. He should try to get a little more roll on it, but I think his habit, you know, he hits it so flat, it's hard to change old habits. I know for the last 10 days or so he was resting St. Louis, and his mom, Gloria, was coaching him a little bit again. She's started doing that again since the Payne Weber down in Sanibel Island 2-3 weeks ago. One of her goals, I understand, is to get Jimmy quicker again. His footwork is really one of his great strengths. Now look at Wilander setting up for the lob. He elects to play it on the fly. Perfect timing, like a first service motion. There's a great return by Connors, low and at his feet. As Lendl and Edberg and Connors yesterday said, this court is so fast that it's hard to have long rallies. We'll be saying that all afternoon, but that really is the facts.
Oh, yes, Wilander in quickly, knocks off the backhand down the line, and so Mats Wilander holds serve. It is 3-2 in the finals. Coming to the near side, ready to serve, down 2-3 in the first set. This is a best-of-3 set match for the Suntory Cup title in 1986. Just wide as Connors goes for that sideline. This is a singles court, no doubles lines, only singles played during the Suntory Cup matches. 15 love.
Let, I think.
Yes, let called by the let court judge there. Really one of the few rallies we've seen thus far in the match.
15.
Mats Wilander.
Keep waiting for Wilander to try and attack Jimmy's second serve, because I think on this fast court that would be a good play if Jimmy misses the first ball.
Trying to put that ball away off the two-hander. It looked to me like he jumped at that ball a little bit.
These are the kind of rallies that Mats Wilander just gobbles up, Barry. He's quick of foot, tremendous anticipation, and he can run all day long. He's not going to get tired, and he uses the court speed very well, I think, as a counterpuncher. I love to watch him rally on that baseline. I think Connors, to hurt him, has got to come in more.
Connors now in a bit of trouble here, down 15-30. If you're Connors, do you ever try and change up at this point, Donald? Maybe sneak in behind a first serve?
I'd like to see him kick a high spinner out there to the backhand.
He heard you.
I think he got my message.
Good first serve.
Perfect play there. Good slice. And open the court up. But he's got to come in if he's planning to beat Wilander today. He cannot just rally from the baseline. This guy loves that. And Mats is awfully good.
Connors missing again with a two-hander down the line. Tried to hit the winner. And so it is 30-40, a break point for Mats Wilander. Now at 30-40, what would you tell Connors right here?
Again, I tell him to slice wide to the backhand and come in. I would not like him to stay back and try to trade rallies on a game point, because if Wilander comes in on the exchange and you've got to hit a passing shot winner, and that's a tough percentage. Here he comes. And again, he makes the perfect slice serve, Barry, right on the line.
Connors.
I think he's got an earplug down there. He hears your questions.
Let's watch it again here.
Now watch how far this serve pulls Wilander out of court. Right on the line. Look where he is. You can hardly see him. Connors has the whole court to volley into for deuce.
Play by Jimmy Connors, just waited for his opportunity, hit the good backhand down the line, puts the overhead away.
Advantage, Connors.
Advantage to Jimmy Connors to try and get even at 3-all. Connors taking a lot of extra time right here. Look at him, he's taking some deep breaths. That was a tough point. He had to work extra hard on that point. Still out of wind. Oh, yes. Connors with a full swinging forehand puts it away. It's 3-all in the first set.
And it was smart, Barry, the way he sneaks in here to net. There's a floater there by Wilander out of court. Jimmy's got the swing volley. He plays behind him smartly.
3 games all, first set. This is the finals of the 1986 Suntory Cup from Tokyo. Goes wide. Wilander missing with that rolling forehand up the line. Love 15. That's Wilander. 4 times he has won Grand Slam tournaments, 2 Australian and 2 French before the age of 21. Ooh.
Love 30.
Connors forcing the action now from the backcourt. It's love 30. And in the 7th game now, a big chance for Jimmy Connors to break serve. 2 points away.
Oh, it's a big chance for Connors to climb on his second serve now. Try to pressure match. Beautiful service ace by Wilander when he needs it.
There's that big first serve we talked about earlier. Watch the concentration.
Look at that knee. He bends his knee perfectly. The wrist snap on a well-timed toss. Perfect toss. He finishes with his body into the net.
Oh, yes, and a clean winner. Beautiful shot down the line, the two-hander.
15-14.
Watch here, because Connors has a ball played right behind him. That was good depth by Matz. Connors shoveled at it, but he hit it well, and that caught Wilander going the wrong way. He was surprised by that.
Big points now.
2 breakers.
Connors with a chance now. Second serve. Wilander will have to come in.
I don't think he will, Barry. I think he'll hang on the baseline. Double fault.
And a double fault.
I think Connors thought that ball was good.
Now Jimmy waiting. Ken Stubbs in the chair. That is Kenny Stubbs from St. Louis, Missouri. No overrule, and so Connors takes the point. He leads 4-3 in the first set. We are back at Yoyogi National Stadium in Tokyo for the finals of the Suntory Cup. As we look at Mats Wilander headed this way, Jimmy Connors on the far side of this beautiful tennis facility. It's actually an Olympic stadium turned into a tennis facility for this event. The hands of Jimmy Connors as he holds up new balls. They are changing after 7 and 9. Connors to serve. 4-3. He has the break. Longest rally of the match. Beautiful drop shot by Connors, sets it all up.
Connors awfully confident right now, Barry. Watch it again. He comes in. Look at the way he starts high and really underspins. Perfect camera work there. But notice how he anticipates perfectly. After the drop shot, he follows it into the net. That is rather unique. You have to great anticipation for that.
15 love for Jimmy Connors, and I spot what looks like a new type of backhand. Donald, we'll talk about that in a minute, from Mats Wilander.
That's Connors' best play. He really shovels that ball wide on the slice and then makes that first low volley.
Is Wilander, Donald, using that one-hander? Let's watch it here.
Way out of court there. He has to use the one-hander.
But I see him using it in rallies now, slicing under. That's something that he hasn't done in the past. Let cord. It'll go wide. And Connors very quick at net on that volley, goes to 40 love.
This crowd, 16,300 people, have paid anywhere from $25 to $40 to work their way into this stadium. Tickets very expensive and sold out.
Clean ace down the center. Big serve from Jimmy Connors, and so Connors holds serve. He leads 5-3 in the first set. A fast court on Connors' serve would be a helpful thing for Jimmy, wouldn't it, Donald?
I think the court favors him because it helps his serve. It gives it a lot more bite, a lot more quickness. Even when he hooks you wide on that slice, it really takes off.
Wilander serving down 3-5. He must hold serve to stay in this first set. This is a best of 3 set match for the title of the Suntory Cup. Connors saying to himself, that's not the way you're supposed to hit it. Jimmy has won this event 3 times, Donald. People over here really look forward to seeing him every year, don't you think?
Very popular in Tokyo. I think Wilander's somewhat new. He played the Seiko Super Tennis last October. Wilander did very well. People starting to follow him. Look at this panoramic view from up above near our booth. See a tremendous crowd here.
Oh, clean ace.
You know, we say 16,300 people like it was nothing, but that's more people than Madison Square Garden holds in most cases for tennis. Another ace right down the center as he snaps the wrist so well. That's where he's improved his service motion, this little wrist snap.
Left first service. And Connors knows it's a clean ace. He yells no, but he knew that he had been ace, and so Mats Wilander holds serve. Connors still leading, though, 5-4 in the first set. Finals of the Suntory Cup. Jimmy Connors coming over to serve at 5-4, trying to pick off the first set here in this best-of-3 set match. The winner will pick up $110,000. Not bad for a couple of days in Tokyo. That's wide. Connors liked the way he aced on that last time up the center. He keeps trying down the center. Great approach and a better swinging two-hander there. Puts Connors up 15 love.
Connors very confident today. I thought he might be a little stiff from the angle at the net. Wilander saves that with a very high lob, looking to make the 180-degree turn like a runner. He's quick and stays low to the ground. He moves very well. So does this guy, Connors, who's serving. That's been his trademark over the years, his quickness and his anticipation.
Oh, yes. Beautiful two-handed return from Wilander. Clean winner up the line. It's 15-all.
Jimmy knew it the moment he hit the serve. He stopped running. Watch it here. He sets up. Boom. Look at the position that Wilander had on that ball. He stayed way out. He guessed right on the toss. Just good anticipation by Mats.
13-15.
Wilander trying that two-hander again up the line. Misses badly. It's 30-15. Connors now 2 points away from the first set.
What I think is important is that Connors is coming in more and more. When he gets that short ball, he doesn't hesitate. A lot of the time, he used to hit it and stay back.
Well, he also rolled that forehand, Donald, like you said. Took a little more time. Gave it a safer approach shot. 30-15. Wilander there way out of court. You see him just wide of that single sideline. Yes. Connors right down to that ball. Good forehand cross court. And so Jimmy Connors now is at 40-15.
Now look at the forehand. Connors sets up quickly, gets that racket back so fast on the second shot. He hits almost a half volley for a winner.
Set point for Jimmy Connors. And there it is. Game and first set to Jimmy Connors. 6-4. Closed in very quickly. Knocks off the forehand volley. And Donald, what will Jimmy Connors do now for 10 weeks during this suspension?
Well, Barry, he isn't going to be sitting at home, as he has said on several occasions. He plays Tulsa next week.
Is that another special event?
That's a special event. And then he plays 3 or 4 more exhibitions. And then he hopes to start play over at Beckenham, England, which is a non-Grand Prix tournament. Beckenham is on grass the week before Queens. And under the rules of the MIPTC, he would be eligible to play in Beckenham because it's not part of the Grand Prix circuit, so he's not exempt from it. I think he's planning to play there to get some practice. But he has 4 or 5 exhibitions in the meantime.
Will he work out? Will he go and practice at one particular spot?
Oh, yeah. He'll be in L.A. practicing. He's at his home in Santa Barbara. He has a court there. He'll bring people up to stay with him.
Who plays with him? I mean, who does he work
Well,
out
he
with?
works out a lot with Elliot Telcher and Brian Teacher occasionally. Aaron Crickstein has been there once. And they all try to They want the practice, and they love to play Connors hour after hour, so they go up and stay with him for 4 or 5 days at his ranch.
Called wide. Connors didn't like the call. There is Ken Stubbs. You see the umpire, Jimmy, looking over now. And there's the linesman very calmly pointing out. Now the question is Stubbs going to give him any kind of a time limitation? Donald, what are the rules in a special event?
They are using the Grand Prix rules here in the Suntory Cup, so he has a 30-second stopwatch. Let's see it again. Here's that forehand.
Tough to call.
Tough from this angle. There you see the hand of the linesman went out very quickly.
Sure did.
There was no hesitation on his part.
15 all. Wilander serving. First game of the second set. That's out.
15-13.
Again, don't you think Wilander is using that slice backhand more than he used to, Donald?
Yeah, he's not using the two-handed, particularly on the approach. He passes off the two-hand. Now let's watch it here. He's trying to use that backhand slice, which requires one hand, and that is very different for him. We've watched that two-hander like Borg's for many years. Short.
Connors knew he was not going to win that point as Wilander comes up and knocks off the easy overhead. It's 30 all.
You know, when you think about it, Wilander's 21 years old. He's won 4 Grand Slam titles already, twice the French, twice the Australian. Jimmy Connors, on the other hand, 33 years of age, and he's won 105 Grand Prix tournaments for the record. So this is, you know, you think of Wilander as a veteran, which he is, but he's only 21.
Clean ace there from Mats Wilander. 40-30.
Watch the slice. Caught Connors moving to his left. The ball hit right on the line. Wilander gained point.
Ooh.
Deuce.
A solid two-hander as Jimmy runs over now. Just wants to towel off. Tell you, there's a lot of attendance around the center court now. I've never seen quite so many people around as they have here in Tokyo.
It's very well organized by the Suntory Cup people, and Mr. Shindu of Step Inc. is the tournament director.
There's the two-hander from Wilander. It almost looks like he doesn't hit it that often from the backcourt anymore. Tried it that time and missed. Big chance now. Connors with break point. First game, second set. It's out, and so Wilander missing with the backhand. Connors breaking serve in the first game of the second set. Connors leading 1 set to love and 1-love in the second set. Oh, yes.
You can't hit a better shot than that. Just marvelous to watch Wilander move to that backhand. And notice there he hits with two hands. He's been slicing with one hand, but he passes with two hands deceptively down that line. Keeps it low. A lot of topspin roll.
Love 15. Connors serving in the second game of the second set.
Mats knows he must break back, or this match will be Connors. If he can just hold 4 or 5 more times, here's the one hand. That's the one-handed backhand of Mats Wilander. Where did he get that shot?
No, it's going to go wide.
I wonder how long he's been hitting that backhand slice with one hand.
Well, that's what I mentioned earlier. I have never seen him play quite so many one-handers. We know him as a two-handed backhand player, but out here on this court, he seems to be slicing under the ball with one hand from the backcourt. 15 all. Connors now taking a little bit of extra time after those long rallies. Let cord, first service. No, good first serve from Connors. Any goals left for Jimmy Connors, Donald?
Well, Barry, I really believe Connors is playing competitively now for two reasons. First, he loves it. He still enjoys the competitive aspects of it. He enjoys the roar of the crowd. But secondly, I think he wants to win one last major Grand Slam championship. And he feels he's young enough, strong enough, and can play well enough to win a Wimbledon or a U.S. Open. I don't think he much cares about the Australian Open, and I don't think he plans to play the French much again. Certainly not this year. He's suspended, so he can't play. And I think it's one of the other two that he feels he has the best chance to win.
Connors missing with the backhand. Well, he must have been inspired by the great job that Jack Nicklaus did at the Masters recently.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. This is on a Sunday in Tokyo, and 1 week ago Nicklaus came roaring back at 46 to win the Masters, as all America knows. And I think Connors would like to go out that way with the last hurrah by winning the U.S. Open or Wimbledon. Certainly the Open is his favorite tournament and probably his best surface.
Fault first serve. It's 30 all now. Connors serving in the second game. He already has a service break, and he already has the first set, 6-4. Another good approach shot deep to the backhand. It works. Connors up 40-30. Don't you think he ought to hit that roll forehand more often, Donald?
There you see it. Perfect play there, Barry. Now there is the topspin roll. He came in. You see it perfectly in this replay by NTV. That was very unusual. You normally see him hit it flat. He came up, down below it and up across it on that shot. And that really helps him. If he could do that more often. I'd like to get a replay of that because he should watch it.
Game point for Connors. Oh, and there's exactly the shot we said he shouldn't be hitting. That
Perfectly
slice.
flat, that ball. He just didn't do much with it. No margin of error.
Connors now taking some more time, tallying off. Still using that old T2000 that's no longer in production. Will he play with that racket the rest of his life, Donald?
I think so. I mean, I don't think he's going to give it up now. He really feels confident with it. It has a slingshot effect. T2000 that is no longer being manufactured in America.
Connors all over the net. Good forehand volley for a winner. It's Jimmy Connors' advantage.
Advantage Connors.
Why does he blow on those fingers like that in between points?
Well, he's trying to dry up the sweat on his hands. And I also think it's a nervous habit as much as anything, but he thinks it gets his hand drier.
Wilander continues to use that slice one-hander.
Don't call that out!
Called wide. You heard Jimmy. He said, don't call that ball out. I think he was kidding. He knew it had floated out wide.
Looked out here from us. We're right above this line. Let's see if we can watch it.
Have you ever seen a replay that clearly shows what's
Not that one.
It is so tough when you see that ball on a replay. We're back to deuce.
Well, the reason is the angle's different of the camera from where we're watching. We're right above that line, and I thought it was wide.
Connors kind of snuck in behind that approach, puts away the forehand volley. It's ad for Jimmy Connors once more.
Yeah, with Wilander using that one-handed slice backhand, he's floating a lot of those balls, and he's not coming through it like he did with the topspin two-hander. And I think that's really helped Connors. I think Mats has to hit through the backhand a little bit more, not slice it so much. This floater here gives Connors a chance to play it on the fly. And he drills the volley.
Beautiful shot there, way out in front on that forehand volley. Connors missing with the first serve. Jimmy trying to win this point to go up 2-love in the second set. Call, and there it is. Connors holds serve. He leads 2-love in the second set. And Donald, we've really had some illustrious winners through the years here at the Suntory Cup.
Barry, this is the 9th year, and of course the great Bjorn Borg won it first in 1978, and Connors won it 2 years following. Borg again in '82, Connors again in '83, and then the last 2 years, '84 and '85, Yvonne Lendl managed to beat John McEnroe in the finals both times. And I think McEnroe, who's played here 5 times, has never won this title. And I think it sort of bugs him a little bit.
It's amazing when you think McEnroe, all the places he's played around the world, not to have won here at least one time after competing 5 times. Well, he'll be back probably.
Oh, I think he'll play here next year.
I read recently that he plans to play in the French Championships. I read that coming down.
Well, I haven't heard, but this event will be held next April, again, April 4th and 5th in 1987. I think John's planning to play, because he missed it this year. He had qualified, and he was invited and had accepted, and of course he's taken a lot of time off. So he'll be back here next year, probably on the 4th and 5th of April.
Back to the action. Mats Wilander with 2 big serve leads 30-love here in the 3rd game of the second set. Oh, Connors right on top that return. A clean winner up the line, 30-15.
Watch this slice serve. Comes in behind it. Jimmy's waiting for it. And no problem there, says Connors. He read the return perfectly. Matt's just now starting to press a little bit. He senses that time could be running out on him here if he doesn't get a break back. Trails 2-love the second set.
Just hit the top of the net. Yes.
I'd love to know why he's hitting so many one-handed backhand slices. It's like he chips much better with it, but I thought he had a better backhand two hands. That was his great strength. Now watch the chip there. Here he comes. Ball is short. And Connors takes a crack at it. That ball landed too far in near the net. Didn't put any pressure on Connors.
Yes, Connors again with a big forehand up the line. Beautiful play.
Now you're seeing Connors really where he's confident. He tried the lob over the backhand side of Wilander and then immediately moved to the spot. Watch there now. He catches Mats. Mats makes a good recovery here. Look, his back is to the net as he makes contact. Jimmy has read it right, cross court, and moved to the spot.
It is break point for Jimmy Connors. And Connors again. 4 straight points for Jimmy Connors as he passes Wilander cleanly. And so Connors goes to a 3-love lead here in the second set. He won the first 6-4. Striding very confidently to the near side, leads a set and 3-love in the second set. Connors to serve. to try and go up 4-love. And this gentleman, Mats Wilander, has got to try and do something different. What would you do at this point, Donald?
If I were Wilander, I would really crowd Connor's second serve. Jimmy now really confident. Hit that backhand, that forehand approach half volley for a winner. I think Mats has to take some chances. I mean, you know, he's not going to win playing this way. And he's got to start coming in.
Connors again trying that big first serve down the center. It's worked for him so far. How important is this match to Jimmy Connors in his career at this point?
Well, I think it's tremendously important to him personally because, Barry, I don't believe he's won a major tournament or a major event since the Seiko Championships in October of 1984. So he's been almost, I don't know, 16 months since he's won a major. By that, I mean a tournament with a substantial field and a quality of play. This one would be a good win for his confidence. And see, that's the play I like Wilander to try. He really put pressure on Jimmy, took a chance, and came in on the second ball.
Connors still up 30-15. Wilander, though, must try something different, as Donald mentioned, to try and get back in this match. He's already down a set and 3-love in the second. This crowd loves Jimmy Connors. No, it floats over the baseline on that slice approach again, and so Connors now up 40-15.
And Jimmy Connors is supremely confident. You can tell by the look on his face and the bounce in his walk. He just feels he's going to win the match now because he can go up 2 breaks here for 4-love if he holds right now. Love to see Wilander hit a hot streak, Barry, and get back into this match.
Well, I think everybody in this 16,000 strong crowd would like to see a longer match. No, again, Wilander missing with that slice backhand, and so Connors has held serve. He goes up 4-love in the second set.
Connors leads
Here comes that underspin one-handed backhand. He floats it long, and Wilander knows it's going out.
You could tell he knew it. He just dropped his racket there as if to say, I know this point is history. And so now Mats Wilander in big trouble, down love 4 in the second set. Connors did not think it was a good serve. He's going to wait for the call.
Mats thought it was a fault also.
Ken Stubbs in the chair. Now Jimmy waiting. Ken heard no call. That is Ken Stubbs from St. Louis, Missouri. No call. The point will stand. It is love 15.
Stubbs said, I can't see the ball that well to overrule, so I'm going to go with his call, even though both thought it might have been fault.
Finally, Wilander with some solid serve and volley comes in, makes the point. It's 15-all.
Look at that stumbling, running. Connors trying to salvage the point, but loses it. Wilander trying to break the ice in the second set here, trailing love 4.
Oh. Connors on the full run for the clean winner up the line.
Can't hit a better shot than that on this point.
15.
Now watch the movement. Connors full swing. Goes right up the line there. Plenty of time as he rolls it. And again, Barry, here's the topspin. Look at the forehand. Look where he finishes. That is a topspin brush. Right over the ball. Good serve by Mats.
Excellent serve. How has Jimmy stayed so injury-free through the years, Donald?
He just takes darn good care of himself, Barry. He really trains well. He paces himself a lot. He doesn't overplay. He doesn't play too many events. Picks 14, 15 tournaments a year, and that's it.
Clean ace from Mats Wilander. Wilander showing some signs of getting back into this match, serving better in this game. It's game point for Wilander.
This crowd will cheer him on.
Saw his opportunity there on the good return. Knocks off the volley. To me, it looks like Jimmy is moving very well, Donald.
And he's also confident. That aids him tremendously. Ace.
First service.
Called a let.
Connors goes back to towel off. There's a 30-second rule between rallies.
Advantage Wilander. Deuce.
Wilander elects to stay on the baseline. Connors immediately comes in. We're back to deuce.
Advantage Wilander.
Boy, he needed that serve, and he got it. Don't count him out yet. He's a tremendous fighter. When he's down, he's been down 5-1 in the French before and come back to win the set. That's a clay court, but it's all mental at this stage for Mats Wilander.
Wilander guessed wrong. Connors waited. Eased the forehand up the line. We're back to deuce.
Now look at Mats with the half volley. Connors can go either way. Mats moving to his left, guessed wrong, and left the court wide open.
First service.
Let on the first service. Mats will have two.
Advantage
Really moving
Connors.
into that forehand now. And we are at break point. Wilander in serious trouble. Down love 4 and a break.
Comes Mats with that first volley, and there he lunges. It's safe to say, Barry, that if Connors wins this point, the match is really over. He's not going to come back from 5-love, I don't believe, in the second set. So Wilander must have this point.
Game Connors.
There it is. Wilander stays back, misses the forehand, and so Jimmy Connors has broken serve. He leads 5-love in the second set. Connors won the first 6-4. Wilander in big trouble, down 5-love in the second set. Connors serving for the match.
Love 15.
Again, Connors looking at his footwork. Love 15. Long. Wilander hitting there with the two-hander, and we've noticed today, both Donald and myself, that Wilander has used that one-handed backhand, and it really has not worked for him at all.
That's very discouraged right now. Very dejected.
Oh.
And Connors is now on a roll. He is really playing well because this could be his first title in about 15, 16 months.
13-15.
Now watch the forehand cross court. good approach by Matz, a better passing shot by Connors.
Let first service.
You know what a player's thinking, Barry, when he can finally win a title after that long, long drought. You wonder if you're going to ever win one again.
Clean ace right down the center, and so Jimmy Connors now with 2 match points leads 40-15.
40-15 on your own serve.
It's like walking up to the 18th with a 4-stroke lead, and you got about a 3-inch tap-in putt to win the tournament. And a nice easy lob goes wide.
Boy, Wilander conceded that point and it went wide. He didn't run down.
He definitely had given that point to Connors.
Does that work?
Both players having some fun now. Connors still at match point. And there it is. Game, set, and match to Jimmy Connors. He wins the Suntory Cup for 1986 in straight sets over Mats Wilander. First set to Connors, 6-4, and in the second, it was all Connors, 6-love.
It's over. It's been a long time since you won a tournament, I think. People have asked me several times, how do you feel today?
Well, I think that I hit the ball probably as well as I ever have. I came here and I had a good match with Edberg yesterday. And then to come out and to play Mats and to hit the ball the way I did, I can't be more pleased, Donald, really.
Well, first of all, explain to our viewers, what are you doing here? I thought you were suspended this week.
Well, I am suspended, and I'd like to thank them for giving me a little rest, unfortunately, because I needed it. But to come over here and to be able to play in a special event, which is a non-Grand Prix tournament, which is what I'm suspended from, is, you know, it's a pleasure for me to play here and also to get the match competition. But as far as my suspension and my fine, I've gone through, I think, 3 or 4 weeks already, and I've played no Grand Prix tennis. But with these special events, I'm still getting the good practice necessary for when I can come back, which is for the Queen's tournament right before Wimbledon.
Jimmy, today, what was the difference? You look so sharp and so confident. I really expected Wilander to climb all over your second serve if he could, because he played so well yesterday against Lendl. But he said earlier he'd never seen you play better, and he never got into the match.
Well, I think the first thing is I'm serving a little better. Each day I go out and work on my serve a little bit, and I think after 29 years of playing this game, I finally found a good rhythm, which is something that I've had occasionally over my career, and then lost it. So I think I found it to the point where I feel comfortable now, which when I do serve well, and I serve like I did today, that lifts my whole game up. My ground strokes are better, I move better, I get to the net better, and I just play better all the way around. So if I keep working on my serve, that would be a great improvement on my whole game.
Well, Jimmy, someone said yesterday that the court here was extremely fast, and I maintain that might help your first serve a lot because you have very good placement on the left-handed slice serve, and the quickness of the bounce, I think, helped your whole game.
It did. The court is a lot faster than it has been in years past, and I came here, I was very surprised to see this court, incidentally, but I do think that it does help my serve, and the main thing for me on a court like this is just to try to meet the ball and to hit the ball very solid. And today, I think after my match with Edberg, the way that I had to play against him to win, everything just clicked into place, and I timed the ball perfectly, and I served well, and I moved well, and I think the court in the long run did help me today.
Jimmy Connors, you've won more tennis tournament titles than anybody in the history of the sport, 105 Grand Prix titles. Why do you do it? Why do you keep playing?
Well, I enjoy the tennis most of all, the actual working at the tennis and the staying in condition and playing against these young guys and just coming out and grinding out the matches like I did against Edberg and like I did against Mats today. A lot of the outside and around the tennis activity I don't quite enjoy much anymore. The travel's more difficult on me. My wife Patty and I have 2 children, and my little boy Brett's in school, and it's difficult for me to get away, for him to get away from school, so I don't see him as much as I'd like. That bothers me a little bit. Then there's a few of the political things that are happening in the game that bother me a little bit, to the point where it's kind of taking the fun out of the game, the way the way the game used to be for me, when you just went and played tennis and you played the best you could, you win, you're the best player. And the rules and the stipulations are really cutting down on the color, the excitement, and pizzazz that the game should have. So, you know, and that was part of my game through my whole career, and I guess they're trying to take that away from a number of players, which is going to find some people storing in the seats, which is not good for the game.
Jimmy, where do you go from here in the sense that you've won every major title, I guess, except the French? What are your goals left in tennis? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, like I said, I just enjoy playing because I like it. The tennis is great, but, you know, for me to stay in shape and to maybe have a possibility of winning another major event, a Wimbledon or a U.S. Open this year would be just more or less like icing on the cake for me in my career. And
which do you think you have a better chance?
Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot depends. I think Wimbledon, to win, you have to be a little bit more lucky because of the grass, because of the bounces, because of the conditions and so forth. And I've won the tournament, so I feel I have the right to say that, you know, to be lucky and to have a few breaks here, a few breaks there is very important. But for me to win the U.S. Open and to have a chance and feel confident going into that tournament would be an unbelievable feat for me at this point in my career. And if I could do that, then that would probably be enough for me.
Do you hope McEnroe comes back?
Well, I miss playing against Mac. I think that his attitude and the way he played and his style has created not only a lot of controversy, but a lot of great feelings from a lot of people, and it filled the stands, which is what the tennis needs today. I think a lot of people made a little more of a big deal out of his getting away from tennis. He's played a lot of tennis over his career, which has been 7 or 8 years. He's played unbelievable over that period of time, and maybe he just wanted to get away from the game a little bit, and he has another life away from tennis now, and maybe he wanted to get settled into that a little bit. But, you know, for him to come back and to try to play the kind of tennis that he has in the past would be exciting for me to play against him before I don't play any longer.
Well, Jimmy Connors, since you were 20 years of age, 13 or 14 long years ago, you've played all over the world. You've dominated men's tennis, American tennis certainly, and you have more fans following you all over the world. We wanted to wish you good luck today. It's nice to come back and win a major title here over a very, very good field. We wish you lots of luck at Wimbledon. I know on June 8th you'll be at the Queen's Club on grass. We'll be watching you there.
That's right. I look forward to that also.
Well, good luck. Thanks
you, Tom.
again.
It's a pleasure.
And now back to Barry McKay up in the booth.
It's Jimmy Connors, the 1986 Suntory Cup winner, 6-4 and 6-love over Mats Wilander.
Loving it. Anticipating a win over the Yankees. America leading it here in the second set 4-3. And watch what will happen after an extended point. It's happened to all of us at one time or another. You just whipped. That's Jorge Lozano. Whoa, USA leading at 5-3 in the second set. Now some friendly words from his partner. America goes on to win that set 6-3. Triple match point for the U.S. And they put away a 5-7, 6-3, 6-3, 6-4 victory in the doubles. Flack talked about...